Hello, welcome back to Snugglewood, young Dreamlynx. My name is Arin. Sink into your bed, pull up your coziest quilt, and let tonight's story and relaxing sounds prepare you for a wonderful and restful night's sleep under these beautiful stars above. And so our story begins in a place called Kindheart Meadows, and the sleepy giant tale of Glimmering Pond. Kindheart Meadows stretches far and wide, its soft emerald grasses rippling under the tender breath of twilight winds. A scattering of snow-kissed silver clover winked in the moonlight, their 5-petaled blossoms releasing the faintest scent of lavender into the air. Tonight, the meadows are quiet yet alive, humming with the low whispers of rustling leaves and the distant lullaby of flowing water. Tiny golden fireflies flitted in peaceful rhythm, their movements painting arcs of soft light above a path that leads deeper into the heart of the meadow. At the centre of this tranquil haven awaited the crown jewel of Kindheart Meadows, the Glimmering Pond. Nestled within a ring of ancient willow trees, the pond lives up to its enchanting name. Its surface shimmered as though spun from liquid moonlight, shifting constantly between a veil of silvery mist. Each ripple carried 1,000 tiny stars, reflected from the crystal clear heavens above. The trees around it stood tall and protective, their trailing branches hung with garlands of luminous moss. This is where the gentle water sprites call home, their laughter and play invisible to most. Yet for those with searching hearts and quieted thoughts, their magic revealed itself like the smallest touch of a breeze on the skin. The path to the pond weaves gently through the meadows, guided by a soothing gurgle of a nearby brook in harmony with the night's song. Small stone lanterns carved with intricate runes line the trail as if placed there long ago by elders of the past. Their soft, amber light casts subtle shadows along the way, guiding visitors toward nightly peace rather than haste. The air grows cooler, but comfortably so, carrying hints of damp forest earth with sweet hyacinth. Everything about the place seemed to lull worries into surrender. As the ringing laughter of distant bells begins to echo softly through the meadows, a hint of playful activity hinted at the sprite's arrival. At first it was faint, like the chiming of glass in a gentle breeze, through the song of the brook and calling cicadas. Then appeared the colours, an unspoken dance of light, woven from pastel pinks and blues that rose soft motes of magic around the pond. The atmosphere shifted in a way one couldn't describe in words. It wasn't startling, just as the stars don't startle birds from their nests. It is a comforting and calmness, the kind of reaction only found in forgotten dreams. Closer to the water's edge, warm moss blankets the earth in hues of jade and golden green. Each step seems cushioned, almost sacred, inviting one to pause and simply breathe. Tiny puffs of mist curl upward from the surface of the water, swirling and gathering in figures no taller than a flickering flame. These are the water sprites, moving with liquid grace and leaving trails of soft, glowing starlight whenever they danced. They are beings of the pond, their movements mirroring the gentle rhythms of nature itself. One sprite pauses mid-drift, as if acknowledging your presence. Its form is translucent and playful. The faint outline of its tiny hands and laughing expression just visible before it soars up and out, disappearing into the willow's veil. Others weave intricate patterns in the air, folding general arcs of light as they leap from the smooth surface of the water to the surrounding moss and back again. The scene carries you into a calm so deep, it begins to feel as if time has surrendered to the softness of this place, melting into the quiet hum of serenity. The Glimmering Pond seems infinite in its magic. Its waters occasionally gave way to sparkling ripples as giant koi fish of dazzling opalescent hues dance beneath the surface. Some shimmer gold and silver like sunlight frozen in liquid form, while others gleam faintly with pastel blues and violets. They move in unison, painting quiet spirals that dissolve into endless melodies of motion. Every moment in this space feels intentional and harmonious, a sanctuary untouched by urgency. Above, the lazy swaying branches of willow trees create gentle music in the cool night air. They swish in concert with the symphony of the pond's life. Leaves with edges so thin they shimmer like spun silk begin to fall, each settling on the pond's surface gently, enough not to disturb the mirrored stars. The sprites catch a few, their chiming laughter growing as they playfully toss them upward, causing the leaves to dissolve into vanishing sparks of light before disappearing into the night sky. At the far edge of the pond, a gathering of larger stones sit draped with lustrous green lichens. Here an ancient rune shines softly, etched deep into the smooth surface of the largest stone. It was said to mark the heart of the pond's magic, a place where the sprites gather to draw from nature's endless wellspring of peace. They nurture the pond's glow, not as guardians, but as kindred spirits, sharing the harmony of this sacred place with all who visit. Then a soft whistling sound joins the daydream, not sharp like the wind, but cradling the ear like whispers from a flute made of river reeds. A new hue of light begins to emerge, painting short streaks of warm orange which mingle effortlessly with the soft blue-pink glow of the sprites. Together, they paint the pond's surface in an aurora of colours, letting the scene grow even more profound, as if encouraging every visitor to take in the overflowing wonder just for a moment longer. Every heartbeat merges with the gentle rhythm of the pond's ripples, slow yet purposeful, giving way to an irresistibly peaceful heaviness settling into one's body. It is not sleep, but the perfect balance between wakefulness and dream, as though laying within infinite arms made of warmth and belonging. Beneath the cool tranquility of the willow's veil, another layer of the Glimmering Pond's secrets began to unfurl. This place, so sweetly steeped in serenity, seemed to invite a deeper exploration, almost as if it whispered for you to linger a little longer, to truly understand its world. The air, infused with a gentle radiance, carries both the timelessness of ancient wonders and the immediate warmth of nature's present beauty. Each breath taken here feels like an invitation to soften, to dissolve into the harmony that resonated so effortlessly. At the water's edge, tiny ripples began to gather in unison, beckoning you to step closer. The surface shone like polished glass, reflecting not only the stars, but the hints of movement just beneath. There, among the delicate swirl of shadows and moonlight, more of the giant golden koi spiral together, their scales glinting like precious coins scattered by a divine hand. They move with an elegance that can only be described as deliberate, as though choreographing a gentle dance for only the eyes of the quiet watcher. Occasionally, one would glide up just enough to kiss the water's surface, creating soft rings that pulsed outward in expanding circles of light. These ripples blend seamlessly into the muted glow of the surrounding mosses and stones, heightening the air of enchantment. Beyond the koi's gentle ballet, the heart of the glimmering pond pulses with an almost imperceptible rhythm. It isn't loud or demanding, but feels instead like the steady beat of something ancient, alive and deeply at peace. The cycle of life here seems perfectly attuned, nothing rushed, nothing forced. Even the wind through the willow branches seems part of the song, adding a light, whispering cadence to the symphony of the scene. Each moment unfolds as if it's crafted with utmost care, creating an environment so tranquil that stress or worry would feel out of place. It's here, within this harmony, that subtle markings along the mossy stones become visible. Runes etched with patterns so delicate, they seem almost alive. These markings aren't random. They pulse faintly with a rhythm all their own, contemplating the flow of the pond and the movements of the sprites. Drawn to them, you kneel beside the largest stone, fingers brushing tentatively across its textured surface. The rune responds, glowing briefly in a shimmering gold before fading back to silence. Its warmth resonates through your hand and up into your chest, filling you with an inexplicable sense of calm strength. It becomes clear that this place, this pond, keeps stories, its serenity rooted in layers of history long forgotten by most. Then the soft rustling of reeds along the far bank catches your attention. At first, there seems to be nothing there, just the stillness of nature wrapped in moonlight. But then, with a shimmer and a flicker, a growing figure begins to emerge. This one wasn't a sprite. Not entirely. It's taller, slender, but strong. Its form resembling flowing water, sculpted into a vaguely human shape. Its surface reflects everything around it. The stars, the pond's glow, the faint hues of the sprites, and even your curious expression. The being moves slowly, with the kind of confidence that can only come from being deep-rooted in one's place and purpose. This entity, perhaps a guardian of the pond or a reflection of its essence, extends a hand toward the water. A soft hum, deeper than the sprite's chiming laughter, fills the air. The pond responds immediately. Its surface shimmers brighter as the giant koi form intricate spirals beneath. The sprites pause in their play, their glowing forms still and reverent, as if observing a sacred ritual. The figure then tilts their head slightly, acknowledging your presence. Although it did not speak, a wave of understanding filled the space between you, its depth more profound than any words could convey. Your mere presence here is enough. You are not a spectator, but a participant, woven into the peaceful fabric of this sanctuary. The being slowly dissolves back into the pond, its form blending seamlessly into the waters as though it had never truly been separate. Its departure seems to leave the air even softer, every sound muted into a deeper stillness. The sprites gradually resume their playful movements, darting in and out of the willow's cascading branches. Their laughter, a mix of playful freedom and magic, floats through the evening like a melody made of light. Yet, now with an additional layer to their dance, they have a sense of purpose, as if they had renewed their vow to keep this place infused with its unique magic. The longer you linger, the more the glimmering pond seems to change. Or perhaps it was you who was changing. The world beyond this place fades from your thoughts, replaced instead with the sensations swirling around you. The soft cushions of moss, the slight chill of the night air, the way every breeze seems to carry a story. Details sharpen, revealing things you hadn't noticed before. Tiny luminous mushrooms rest at the base of the nearby stones, their caps glinting with flecks of gold. Delicate flowers float on the water, their petals trembling with the faintest of movements. Above, the swaying branches of the willows frame the tapestry of the night sky, their long leaves creating patterns that seem to whisper secrets to the stars. And then, as if cued by some unseen love, the willow leaves rustled with a sound deeper and richer than before. The very atmosphere seems to shift. A glow emerges from within the grove of willows, soft and warm like the light of a lantern hidden just out of sight. The sprites grow still again, their glowing forms arranging themselves around the edges of the pond as if awaiting something extraordinary. It feels as though the glimmering pond prepares to unveil yet another mystery. From the direction of the glowing light, a new figure emerges. Larger than the water sprites, but smaller than the garden-like being encountered earlier. Its silhouette delicate, and its movements carried by an elegance that suggested wisdom beyond its size. Unlike the watery sheen of the other being, this being seems woven from silken threads of starlight, its form radiating a gentle silver luminescence. It hovers briefly, rising above the pond's surface before touching down lightly on a moss-covered stone. Its presence seemed to complete the scene, as if it were the final note in a symphony, bringing everything into perfect balance. The patterns woven in shimmering light begin to unite into a rhythm, each stroke flowing into the next in perfect harmony. Your gaze fixes on the creature, its movements mesmerizing like watching the tides or the slow blooming of a flower. Despite the stillness in your body, a curious energy fills the air, pulling you deeper into the moment. You felt yourself align with the cadence of the glowing runes, as though the story they told wasn't just meant to be seen. It was meant to be felt. The echoes of the pond's hum surround you, vibrating softly in your chest, anchoring you to this serene world. The sprites, now lining the pond with their radiant light, form a gentle chorus. Together, their soft laughter weaves into the background, like notes contemplating the hum of the waters. It isn't noisy or overwhelming. Instead, it's as though every sound, every ripple, every breeze, every note has been orchestrated to coexist in perfect unity. Then, with a graceful motion, the silken figure pauses mid-air. It turned its luminous gaze upward, and your own eyes instinctively followed. The night sky, once scattered with twinkling stars, now seems alive with an even deeper vibrancy. Constellations arrange themselves into unfamiliar shapes. Dragons, flowing rivers, towering trees, all glowing faintly with the soft light of the creature's runes. The stars seem closer now, no longer detached fragments of light in an infinite expanse, but rather threads weaving the same story you were witnessing. It feels as though the Glimmering Pond has become a center point, a nexus not only for this place, but for all places. The boundaries between land, sky, and water blurred to the point that they no longer matter. You aren't merely watching, you are connected to everything. The ripples in the pond's surface, extending far beyond its banks and into the vastness of the cosmos. For one profound moment, you are part of the story, a note in the melody, a brushstroke in the masterpiece. The silken figure resumed its dance, tracing larger, more elaborate runes now. These are unfamiliar, but strikingly beautiful. Though you don't understand their meaning, each seems to carry its own melody, not in sound, but in sensation. One rune makes you feel the weight of an ancient oak tree, its deep roots extending through centuries. Another brings the cooling sensation of wind brushing over a still mountain lake. Each mark in the air awakens something within you, a quiet understanding of the balance this place sought so carefully to protect. The creature lowers its hand, the glowing runes slowly fading into the night air like fireflies retreating into the shadows. You expect the stillness to return, but instead a new sound emerges, gentle and rhythmic, like a distant heartbeat. It came from the grove of willows, resonating with a comforting peace. The glowing figure steps back, bowing its head slightly before it too faded into silvery strands of light that dissolved into the moss-covered stone. For a moment, you are left alone, with a beating rhythm and soft glimmer of the pond. But beneath the stillness, it still feels as if something important is about to unfold. The sprites form gentle arcs along the water's edge, their glowing forms swaying to the rhythm. The willows begin to shift more dramatically, their branches parting to reveal something hidden within the grove. From the deep recesses of the trees, a new light emerged. This one golden in hue, warmer and more solid than the silken starlight of the previous figure. The source of the glow comes into view at last, in gigantic form, unmistakably ancient. Rising slowly from a bed of moss and earth, its entire body seems carved from the world itself. With bark-like skin, sturdy and weathered yet alive, patches of moss blanket its shoulders, and tiny flowers cling to its limbs as though it carried a garden with every movement. This was the giant. Despite its immense size, the giant exudes a deep, abiding calm, its movements meticulous, deliberate, as though each step being a part of the sacred moment already in motion. When it finally kneels beside the pond, the earth beneath it seems to sigh, settling comfortably beneath the weight of its presence. With one massive hand, it cups the water of the glimmering pond, the surface shimmering brighter where its touch lingers, and the giant koi once again swirl beneath it in perfect spirals, their movements mirroring the calm energy of the giant. The sprites gather closer now, their laughter quiet but celebratory, like children witnessing an extraordinary gift. Now buzzing with renewed energy, the sprites resume their joyous dance. They spin and twirl, their laughter ringing clear through the stillness, carrying with it a sense of celebration. Even as the giant disappears, its presence remains, a warm, calming energy that now seems to infuse the very air you breathe. You find yourself smiling in a state of calm, though you aren't sure why. Perhaps it was because you knew the Glimmering Pond will be here long after you leave, its story continuing to unfold in ways that no single moment could capture. Or perhaps it was simply the peace curling up in your chest, the certainty that in this place, at least, balance and beauty always prevail.